بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وينزل عليكم من السماء ماء ليطهركم به ويذهب عنكم رجز الشيطان وليربط على قلوبكم ويثبت به الأقدام.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد، فقد قال المعصوم عليه الصلاة والسلام: كل شيء لك طاهر حتى تعلم أنه نجس. In this program and in this session, I am going to elaborate on a number of purifying agents. What is known as mutahhirat in Arabic or in legal terminology. The term mutahhirat refers to those things with which purification can be achieved. Therefore, we have to use the word purifying agent instead of the word mutahhirat, because many people do not understand the Arabic term, so I have to use the word purifying agent. Now the question arises, what are the purifying agents? What are those things with which we can purify ourselves or with which purify can happen? There are a number of things which I will enumerate, which I will count. Those purifying agents are, of course, water, the earth, the sun. These are from the nature, the purifying agent. The water, number one, the earth, number two, and the sun, number three. These purifying agents come from the nature. But number 4, number 5, number 6, 7, and 8 are the physical change. They have to do something with the physical change. So number 4 is istihala. Istihala means chemical change or chemical transformation. Number 5 is inqilab. Inqilab means change in properties. Inshallah, I will give explanations, I will give examples of what inqilab means, what change means. And number 6 is intiqal. Intiqal literally means transmission or transition, but it means here change in place. So this is number 6. And number 7 is zawalul ayn, or the disappearance of the essential najasa, the inherent najasa. When it is removed or when it is eliminated or washed out, washed off, then that is considered to be as zawalul ayn, the removal of the essential impurity. And number 8 is istibra. These are something that have to do with the physical change. And there are some other purifying agents which have something to do with the spiritual change. Now, number 9 is Islam. Number 10 is taba'iyya. These are the terms, the Arabic terms which are used even in the epistles of Islamic laws, the treatises, the risala written by the religious authorities. I'm not going to use a different term, so I have to say Islam and taba'iyya. Taba'iyya means to follow. Don't worry, I will give the explanations, I will provide the details, inshallah, to come in the next session. Of course, I will not be able to elaborate on all these 12 purifying agents in a single session. Of course, many sessions are required in order to elaborate on these agents, on these purifiers or purifying agents. And number 11 is ghaiba, or ghaibat of a Muslim, the absence of a Muslim, or the disappearance of a Muslim. Number 12 is the draining of the usual quantity of blood from the slaughtered body of an animal. So, dear brothers and sisters, these are the 12 purifying agents which I have just counted and I have just enumerated, not explained. So, obviously, if you go through the books written by prominent scholars, they have explained every purifying agent in great details. Sometimes the details are quite confusing. And they are beyond our capacity and beyond our ability to understand, because there are different suppositions, different occasions, and different rules. I will just give a brief summary of what the scholars have provided, have given and explained in their books. Now, as usual, and in accordance with the details provided in the books of scholars, I will, in the same way, begin with explaining the rules regarding water. There is no doubt that water is the most purifying and the most widely purifying agent. Nothing purifies as much as water. It is the most common and widely used purifying agent. But what are the circumstances and what are the conditions through which water can purifying an impure object? We have to understand that water can purify a najis thing provided that have the necessary quality and the necessary conditions which I will explain. So, purification depends on the type and on the quantity of water.
يا محول الحول والأحوال
We have to first of all understand the various types of water, and then of course the rules and the edicts of scholars need to be discussed and need to be understood. Unless we describe the types of water, it would not be possible to explain the rules. So first we have to understand the different types of water. Dear brothers and sisters, according to the rules and explanations given by prominent scholars, water can be divided into two types. They are mutlaq and muzaf. Again, we have to understand these two terms, mutlaq and muzaf. What is mutlaq and what is muzaf? These two terms are Arabic terms, and of course the same terms have been used by religious scholars in their books. Now, when it comes to mutlaq water, first of all we have to understand what actually mutlaq literally means. And then when it comes to water and to legal terminology, what does it mean? Mutlaq in its literal meaning means absolute. It means absolute. But in legal terminology, mutlaq water means the water which is pure water, and water which is unmixed. Now, pure water, when we talk of pure water, it means the water which comes from the spring or from rainwater or from well or from any source, but it should not be mixed with anything. Mutlaq water refers to pure and unmixed water. And unlike mutlaq water, we have muzaf water. Muzaf literally means added. But when it comes to its technical meaning and its jurisprudential meaning, muzaf means mixed water. Now, mixed water can have different examples and can have different actually manifestations. If you take water from apple, from fruit, or from any edibles, from vegetables, for example, though the water might be crystal clear, it may be very much pure apparently, but it is called mixed water, and you cannot purify yourself, you cannot do ghusl, you cannot do wudu with mixed water. Obviously, the term mixed water has to be understood. Mixed water has to be understood within a jurisprudential context, not within a scientific context. Because water can be purified through laboratory, through the modern technology. Even the sewage water, the water in the gutters, are nowadays purified by modern technology. And the water cannot be used for purification, for making wudu and ghusl, for doing major and minor ablution. So, water and its jurisprudential context, if it is to be used for wudu and ghusl, it should be pure, it should come from spring, it should come from well, or it should be running water. Mudaf water, or the added water, or the mixed water, however large its quantity may be, cannot purify impure objects. Remember that if you have a large quantity of mixed water, if a drop of blood, if a drop of urine, if a drop of najis object falls into it, the entire water becomes impure. No matter how large or how big the quantity of water may be, it will be made impure with a single drop of urine. Now the position is not the same with pure water. We have different kinds of pure water. We have running water, we have cool water, we have well water, and we have less water. Of course, some Arabic terminologies and some Arabic words, special words, have been used by scholars in their epistles of Islamic laws. For example, we have the word kur water, and we have qalil water. Now these are Arabic terms. How are we going to understand that a certain quantity of water is kur water, and what is the quantity of kur water, and what is the quantity of little water or less water, which is called qalil water in Arabic? When it comes to the quantity of kur water, I should give you a general criterion, a general rule. If water is in a container, if each side of the container of the water is 3.5 span, I mean the width, the breadth, and the depth of the water is 3.5 spans, then that water is considered to be kur water. And of course, you might ask, what is the quantity of the water? How much the water should be? Because sometimes we cannot measure the quantity of water by using our span. The ground scholars, the religious authorities, have said that if a container weighs or contains 388 liters of water, that is the minimum, of course, the minimum amount of water, then that is considered to be kur water. 388 liters of water, that is the kur water. But of course, some scholars have said that there's an objection in this kind of measurement and weighing this the water in such a manner. But they have, of course, there is consensus when it comes to the width and breadth and also the depth of the water by
ناجيتك يا رحمن ودعوتك يا ديان يا خالق الإنسان الله 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 يا خالق الإنسان الله الله الله.
Of course, qalil water is the water which is less. The term less has to be used, and the translation less water, or sometimes of course they have used the word little water. But as far as running water and well water is concerned, and also the rainwater, these are considered to be as kathir water. Kathir means abundant and plentiful water, plentiful, abundant water. And if a drop of urine or a drop of blood or a drop of an impure liquid falls into kathir water, the kathir water, the plentiful water or the abundant water, just as the well water or the running water, flowing water and rainwater, does not make the water impure. And of course, until and unless the change, the color, the smell, and the taste of the water do not change, then the water should be treated and considered as pure. And of course, if the color changes, the taste changes, or the smell of the water changes, then that water cannot be used for purification. As far as less water is concerned, a drop of urine, a drop of najis object, or any najis object, if it falls into it, the little water, then that little water is made impure. For example, you have a jug full of water. There is no doubt that a jug full of water is little water, it is less water, and is considered qalil. So if a drop of blood falls into it, or a drop of najis liquid falls into it, the entire water becomes impure, and you cannot use it for purification. No matter the color does not change, the taste does not change, but we cannot use it for purification. Dear brothers and sisters, water can make a najis thing pure on the following conditions. What are the conditions? First of all, the water must be mutlaq. As I explained, mutlaq means pure and unmixed water. Secondly, the water which is pure must itself be, the water which is pure and unmixed must itself be ritually pure. It should be clean. And thirdly, it should not have been made mixed. For example, the pure water should not have come in contact with something else, with, for example, with juice, with water taken and extracted from apples, from orange, or from other types of fruit. The water should remain pure, and it should not come in contact with other types of water. And fourthly, if something is impure, there should not be any essential impure object on it. For example, if your clothes or if your dress is impure, you should make sure that there is no blood, there is no semen, and there is no external impure object on it. So the essential impurity, or what is called najisul ayn, should be removed first of all. There should be no substance of impurity left on your dress, on your body, and on your belongings, in order to make sure that that object has been made pure. So these are the 4 conditions that have to be taken into consideration. Of course, sometimes we have something that is made impure. For example, a child urinates on the carpet. A child urinates on something that is portable. Sometimes it's not portable, sometimes it is portable. As far as the carpet is concerned, if a child urinates on the carpet and the carpet cannot be taken out to be washed, Then, of course, according to some scholars like Grand Ayatollah Sistani, he says that if you pour a little water, though the water is little, though the water is less, if you pour a little water on the carpet and then use something, a piece of cloth or a towel, to dry up the water, to collect the water, then the carpet is made pure. It's not necessary to wash the entire carpet. It's not necessary to take it out and wash the whole carpet. To just pour a little water on a cup of water and then dry on the najis area, on the impure area, and then dry it, make it dry, using a towel to just collect the water, it would be sufficient. Now, if a container, let's say a cauldron, a cooking pot, a teapot, is made impure with a drop of urine or a drop of liquid, impure liquid, how are you going to clean it? Of course, it can be made clean by using abundant water. Abundant water, as I mentioned, it is the rainwater, the well water, and the flowing water, and also cool water. If you wash it once with the abundant water, then it is sufficient. It's not necessary to wash it twice. But if you want to wash it with little water, then of course you have to wash it twice. And also the precaution is to wash it thrice. Now, what if a cooking pot is made impure by a dog or a pig? For example, a dog licks the cooking pot, licks a jar, licks a container. How are you going to wash it? The ground scholars have said that you need to pour some dust into it, some dust or some sand, dust into the container, into the cooking pot or into the container. Then you have to scrub it or shake it. If you cannot scrub it, you can shake it strongly so that the dust reaches all parts of the container, inside of the container, of course. And then you have to wash the dust. Thereafter, after that, you need to wash the container thrice. This rule is applicable to the time when a container is licked by a dog. But if a container is licked by a pig, of course, you have to wash it 7 times. The grand scholars have not said that you need to pour dust into the container. They have said that if you wash it 7 times with running water or cool water or less water, then that would be sufficient. Now, pigs and of course dogs are an exception. The same is the case when a mouse falls and dies in a container. You need to wash it 7 times. 7 times. And the same way as you wash when it is licked or touched by a pig. When we say lick, it does not make any difference whether it is licked or when a drop of a pig's saliva falls into the container. The same has to be done when a drop of saliva, a pig's saliva, falls into it. It has to be washed 7 times. Of course, there are some other rules and details which I will follow and discuss in the next session. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم اختم بعفوك أجلي وحقق في رجاء رحمتك أملي وسهل إلى بلوغ رضاك سبلي وحسن في جميع أحوالي عملي.